Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new thrifting haul slash hangout slash whatever this video is. I don't know. I'm coming in hot after 2 weeks being away. I had a little holiday in there, so I did, as you saw, I did get a whole bunch of new stuff from various sources, so I will tell you all about that. I hope everyone out there is doing well. Thank you for your patience. Like I said, I was on holidays last week, so I was visiting my family in New Brunswick, and I also wanted to say a quick apology to anybody I did not get to see in St. John when I was there, but I just was really busy with hanging out with my son and my granddaughter. So if you guys are watching, hello Stevie and Cameron, and I hope everyone's doing well. So I went on a little excursion last week for about 5 or 6 days, I guess, and I did get to some thrift shops and some cool record stores. So we're going to talk about that. At the end, I'll be talking about what's coming out on physical media this upcoming Tuesday, May the 12th. If you're new here, welcome. The Hangout is just a video where I talk about things I picked up, things I watched or listened to, which I'm kind of moving away from that a little bit. And then I talk about the new releases coming out the upcoming Tuesday, and just stuff in general. Welcome back all of my regular viewers, of course. My subscription count continues to go downwards, which is fine, because I know there are a few people out there who are watching, and the other people who come and go, that's fine. I just got out of the shower, can you tell? So let's go over what I picked up first. Let's see, I'll start with the stuff that I got in on my trip to New Brunswick. I did not sort this before I hit play or hit record, so we'll figure that out. So the first thing I picked up as soon as I landed in St. John, I went to the Value Village, of course, and I found Psycho 2 on VHS. It's got a little rip there, but otherwise in pretty good shape. This, I don't know. Cool sticker on the tape itself. Say what you want about the Psycho sequels. I'm not, I like the sequels. I don't sit around and watch them a lot. But I had been recently watching Red Letter Media talking about the Psycho series, and it kind of got me wanting to watch. So this was a cool find. I think this might be from somebody's library, maybe. It's got these numbers on it. A lot of people were like kind of worried when this was done because Psycho is kind of considered, well, it is considered a classic. And this was like 20 years later, they decided to make a sequel. It's not bad. It's not bad. Like I said, I do enjoy watching them from time to time, but I just watch the original. And on that note, lo and behold, at Sunrise Records, I picked up Psycho on 4K. Because, I thought Psycho looked great on DVD, so I was only imagining it would look incredible on 4K. And kids, it did deliver. I did have to do some adjusting on my TV with the blacks and the contrast and that to get a really good picture. The one thing I will say I noticed, and it's probably just because the film is so old, but the audio wasn't great. The audio was quite uneven, but the picture itself looked great. And it wasn't all of the audio. It was mostly just I really noticed it at the beginning with the theme song, which was a bit disappointing because that opening music by, who was it, Bernard Herrmann, I think? Doesn't say. I think that's the person's name. But this has a Psycho uncut and the original theatrical version. I did watch the uncut version. I think I noticed a few extra bits added, but it wasn't anything really too dramatic. But this does look stunning on 4K. I find most black and white movies really benefit from 4K. So I did rewatch it. It's one of my favorites, and it's so, so. Let's see what else I got. At Giant Tiger, this is a store in Canada for those of you who are watching from outside of Canada. But they used to have a pretty good physical media section. They don't really anymore. It's just the odds and ends. But one that I was on the hunt for was Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I did find this previously viewed copy on Blu-ray. I was happy when I opened it to discover that it does have the special features disc, which is cool. I think it's the bonus disc, so happy to find that. It was $6.99, I think. I was kind of hoping I could find one with a slipcase because my other two have slipcases, but I'm not a slipcase snob, so... but I had a copy of this. I have the newer trilogy on Blu-ray, and this one kind of crapped out and wouldn't play, so I was looking to replace it, and I did so. So, very happy with that. Let's see what else we got. Actually, this was one I got when I returned back to my home, which I also found at a different Giant Tiger, but and this, I saw this movie a couple of weeks ago on the shelf at this Giant Tiger, and I was like indecisive about buying it. I didn't buy it. When I went back, I couldn't find it, but I think somebody might have hidden it because it was at the very bottom of the rack in behind a bunch of other stuff. Really happy that it was still there, and it's a film called The Who Lambert Stamp, or Lambert and Stamp, I should say. And I don't know much about this. I believe it's a, let's see, story of Chris Stamp and Kit Lambert, aspiring filmmakers who set out to find a subject for their underground movie, leading them to discover, mentor, and manage the iconic band that would become known as The Who. So this feels like it would be like early Who, like before they got really big. So, and that's my favorite era of The Who, is like the early stuff. So I'm kind of hoping this might be cool. It's a film by James D. Cooper. Let's see, it has, they forged a complex and moving relationship fueling the band's artistic development, which would leave an indelible imprint on its time and on generations to come. The film is charged with a mad concoction of noise, love, rebellion, artistry, and hilarity as it takes us along on the surprising ride of two men who shaped one of the most exciting bands of all time. And it has The Who in Finland, The Who promotional film 1967, Where the Action Is archival footage, and Call Mr. Lightning archival footage. It has a commentary, and there's a Q&A with Henry Rollins and director James D. Cooper. So that, I did not notice that actually when I bought it, so I'm really fired up. I was listening to that Who CD on my vacation on repeat in the car, and the one I picked up a few weeks ago, I think it was My Generation. Great album. Also, while I was in St. John, at my favorite shop, Backstreet Records. Shout out to Judd and Sebastian at Backstreet. And thank you for the deals. I got the Lee Aaron video collection. And for those of you who don't know, Lee Aaron was a huge, I loved Lee Aaron when I was a teenager. And there's the track listing. And some of you may know, my sister bought me tickets to go see her in concert in August. So I'm really excited. And this was kind of a cool find. I feel like this one might be a bit like uncommon, but it's the Attic Records video collection. Yeah, awesome. So excited to view this before I head out to the concert. She was kind of like the metal queen, or she was the metal queen in like 83, 84, and then she went kind of more hard rock. But I always liked her. I like her voice. She got a really husky, raspy kind of voice, and she can really belt it out. And then she went jazz, and I think she's going back to the rock stuff now. But yeah, excited for that. So shout out to Judd and Sebastian. And then Judd went around, well, let's see. I found this, which I paid a bit. It was $17.99. This is Carcass, Reek of Putrefaction. As you can see, it was a bit more, but the reason I'm guessing it was a bit more is because these are probably not as common. This is Mosh 6 CD from Earache, and this is $22. 2 tracks of... I tried to listen to it in the car, but I feel like this is going to be a headphone listen. This has their hit singles, Genital Grinder, Vomited Anal Tract, Oxidized Razor Masticator. So yeah, nasty grind metal from the late 80s, early 90s. This one, I don't know if there's a year on it, but I believe this is like late 80s if I had to guess. It says 89 and 94, so I'm guessing maybe it came out in 89 and then it got reissued in 94. Something along those lines. But yeah, it's pretty nasty. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna try to explain Carcass to your everyday music listener. But yeah, it's kind of intense. And like I said, I put it on the car and I was like, it's not... When I drive on the highway, my ex-partner told me you have to have music that you can sing along to, and so it was like Ramones, Who, Cramps, some reggae. But when I put on Carcass, I was like, you can't really sing along to Carcass. Not really like happy fun time driving music, so I will check that out at some later date. I also picked this up. I don't see where I put the thing, but I got this Japanese import of Voivod Nothing Face from Second Spin Records, so shout out to Second Spin. This is an album from 1989 as well, I believe, on MCA Records. This is a Japanese release, so I wasn't sure, if Japanese CDs are compatible with North American CDs players, but it was. But look at the design even on the disc. It's so different from what we expect on our releases in Canada. But also the packaging is really nice. So when you open it up, it has a Voivod Nothing Face, all the album information. I assume that's lyrics in Japanese, which is kind of cool. The reason I'm missing a piece is because it had a little cardboard thing that goes over the spine. That's Japanese, which I do have somewhere. But check this out. This is really cool. I'm a huge fan of Michael Langevand's artwork. He's a big inspiration on my own artwork. But let's see if I can get it in camera. But yeah, the booklet unfolds and there's all kinds of his drawings. And he's a huge inspiration to me artistically, as well as just seeming like a pretty cool guy all around. I got to meet him probably about 10 years ago. And then on the flip side, there's actually a Voivod poster. So I'm thinking I might actually just get a frame and put this up on my wall because it's pretty cool. And that was kind of in the era where Michael Langevand, better known as Away, was going into some digital artwork and stuff. So I kind of prefer his drawings, like his hand sketches and stuff like that, his hand drawings, but this computer stuff is cool too. So anyway, I was really happy to find this. I don't see Voivod CDs around in the store a lot, so I was really happy to add this to my collection. And I did listen to this in the car a lot last weekend, and I'd really forgotten how good of an album this is. I mean, I always knew it was a great album, but I had the cassette when I probably had the cassette when it came out. And then I got rid of my cassettes years ago. And so I really haven't listened to it much since those days. But when I re-listened to it, it took me right back. And this is such a great album. I would recommend this for people who, maybe you've heard some early Voivod. It's like more extreme. But this is like them getting really nice, a bit more refined with their composition, production, everything. And this CD sound, it's so good. I can't wait to listen to this on my good headphones, because even in the car stereo, it sounded so good. And this is the album they did the Pink Floyd cover of Astronomy Domine, and it's a shame because I had tickets to see them back in those days and the show got canceled, which really sucked. But anyway, then my friend Judd, who works at Backstreet Records, go check them out in St. John, New Brunswick. He also put a few things in my hands. which he thought I might enjoy. So I had been looking at this one, which is Jesus Lizard. This album is called Blue, and this is put out on Capitol Records in 1998. It's a promo copy. I only listened to a couple of tracks on it, but it sounded like Jesus Lizard. If you like really intense, tight, noisy, angular noise rock, then you probably would like Jesus Lizard. The lyrics, the vocals quite confrontational. But this I have not listened to yet. I previewed the first track for a minute or two, but have not actually gotten around to listen to it, so I will get around to that. And then Judd, if you're watching, I have to say, this CD, Reggae Mania, the best of reggae, and I saw this in their dollar bin, and I passed over it because the cover looks like, the artwork is awful, but actually the CD's really good. And Judd told me that, so actually a few people told me that it was really good, so I did grab this. It has, let's see, Bob Marley, U-Roy, who else is on here? Toots and the Maytals, Ethiopians, lots of really good stuff. This is from 1996 from Milan Records, but to me it looks like one of those Putumayo, those world music compilations, which are, listen, they're perfectly fine, but my reggae, I like to have a bit more grit. But this actually has some really good tracks on it. I wish I could remember. There was one in particular that I really, really liked the sound, and it wasn't a track I was familiar with, but yeah. Anyway, cool. So shout out to my friends at Backstreet. And then I came back to Nova Scotia, and after watching Psycho, I watched on the Psycho extra features, there was a documentary talking about Psycho, and they were actually talking about other Alfred Hitchcock movies, and I decided to grab North by Northwest because I've never seen this. I have Vertigo, and I have Strangers on a Train, and I used to have Frenzy, which I kind of regret getting rid of now, but I've never seen North by Northwest, so this is Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, and James Mason. So yeah, I don't know, but when I was watching the clips of some of the other Hitchcock movies they were talking about in this documentary, I was like, oh, I should finally check that out. I have Vertigo, and I've only watched it once, but I really like that as well, so I'll probably get around to checking that out. And then yesterday I went to my local Value Village, and I found this cool book. It's TV Time 79. This is 10 fascinating, fact-packed stories about your favorites. The Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno. The Amazing Incredible Airborne Spider-Man, played by Nicholas Hammond. You got Sean Cassidy, you got Christy McNichols, you got Robin Williams, all of my favorites. And I was 9 years old in 1979, so mostly all of these shows were like my favorite shows on TV. So I was really happy to pick this up. Check out that roughness there. Lou Ferrigno and Bill Bixby. Bill Bixby, rest in peace, of course. Christy McNichol. Here's the guy that played Spider-Man on TV. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but I don't think it had a very long run. I don't know how long it was on, or if it was just a TV movie, but it kind of looked like that. I remember as a kid, I was like floored. I was like so excited, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not that good anymore. I don't know. Here's a really charming picture. This is the cast of Three's Company at Christmas, and that I love it, and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. So I think everyone in that photo is now deceased, which is sad, but that's how the world goes. Here's Parker Stevenson in Hardy Boys, which, fun fact, I used to cry at the intro song to Hardy Boys when I was 5 or 6 because it really scared me. There's this part of the opening credits. The song's kind of creepy, but then there's a part where they go over a graveyard, and I got really spooked. But I did used to really like the show, and everyone looking very cute there. I don't know how many of those folks are still around. There's a Robin Williams and Mork and Mindy, which was another favorite of mine when I was a kid. And then there is a small little photos of Battlestar Galactica, which anybody who follows my channel knows that I love. That one season of Battlestar Galactica in 1978. Special effects by John Dykstra, better known for the Star Wars films, or early films anyway. But yeah, this is cool. This is from a Scholastic Book Service, so I'm imagining this was probably one of those books you could order. You remember you used to get those little, well, for my older viewers at school when you were a kid, you would get a little magazine, a little flyer, and you could pick out the books that you wanted and do a little check mark, and then you'd send in your check or your dollars, and in a couple of weeks you would get books at school, and it was really, really fun. And I used to love getting these books, so I'm guessing that's what this is. I used to get the Star Wars ones whenever those were available, and that was a big deal. But I wonder if they still do that. I think they did it into the 90s, but I don't know if they still do it. But Scholastic Books, and what a great way to get kids to read books. And then finally, I went to a flea market yesterday, and I found a table, and the CDs were $1. So I picked up some weirdies that I might not normally pick up. I did pick up 2 CDs by Foxy Brown. I got China Doll and Il Nana. These are both from Def Jam Records, yeah. And I think maybe she's not... I don't know, like she kind of disappeared from the hip-hop scene, but I did really like some of the early tracks by her. Yeah. Oh, Blackstreet is on one of these CDs. Oh, I'll Be with Jay-Z. That's a wicked song. But yeah, it's kind of like badass, tough female hip-hop, which is right up my alley. It's when I listen to hip-hop anyway. But yeah, I got onto Foxy Brown probably in the 2012, 2014. I started listening to some of her music, and so $1 each. If I don't like them, I can just pass them along. Then I got 2 CDs by the artist known as Photek. These were $1 each, so I believe Corey will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is kind of like that electronica, that underworld, prodigy, all that kind of stuff. This might be a bit more weird. I don't really know. But for $1 each, I was like, I'll give it a gamble. As some of you know, who have been watching me for a while, last fall, I went through a big electronic phase. I was buying like all kinds of electronic music, Prodigy and Fatboy Slim and Chemical Brothers and just all that stuff. So when I can find them for cheap, I usually grab them, especially with stuff I don't really know. The albums for the record here are Form and Function. That's that one. This is put out on Science Records, I guess. And this one's called Modus Operandi. So yeah, check that out. And then the last CD I got at the flea market, which was cool because I only have this on cassette, and I don't really listen to cassettes, but I found the soundtrack to the Buddy Holly story with Gary Busey. And I did listen to this in the car yesterday with my friend Tracy, and it was great. This soundtrack is from 1978. This is some kind of a reissue, but and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, that movie was kind of a stab in the back to the Crickets because it's not actually very, from what I know, it's not very historically accurate. Buddy Holly plays a Telecaster in the film, but Buddy Holly only played Stratocasters. So, but I really, that was a movie I saw when I was a teenager, and it was really inspiring to me as a musician. And my dad always played Buddy Holly records, rest in peace, on Sunday afternoons when we were playing board games as a family. And we oftentimes Buddy Holly would be on the record player, and I just really, really like Buddy Holly. So, anyway, that's that. So now we move on to this segment in the show where I talk about upcoming physical media releases. Have a sip of coffee first. Hope everyone's doing well out there. The weather is hit and miss lately. Hoping it will improve soon. But if for any of you out there who are physical media hounds, Tuesday, May 12th, 2026, at your local fine physical media retailer, you can find a Steelbook 4K of Fight Club from 1999. I have that movie on Blu-ray. I've watched it once. I don't think that movie's for me, but I know a lot of people love that movie. So Fight Club 4K Steelbook. The cover of the Steelbook is the bar of soap. Brad Pitt in Moneyball from 2011 is coming out on 4K. Motel Hell is getting a 4K Steelbook from Shout Factory from the year 1980. That is a movie I watched one time and will probably never watch again. But again, I know a lot of people love that movie, so Motel Hell. Don't stop at that motel. Bridesmaids is getting a 4K. That's a film from 2011. Quite a funny comedy. 10 to Midnight is coming out on 4K from 1983, starring Charles Bronson. That's being put out by Kino Lorber, who always does a pretty good treatment on their discs. We also have The Black Belly of the Tarantula from 1971, and that is coming out from Celluloid Dreams. I bought that DVD a couple of years ago. I watched it and I moved it along because I don't think I'm a big Giallo fan, but it was okay, I guess. Let's see what else. Not a lot of stuff this week. A Kiss Before Dying with Matt Dillon and Sean Young is coming out on Blu-ray from 1991. Ultraman, Great Ultraman is coming out on Blu-ray. That's I guess a series from 90 to 93. There's some catalog titles that I don't know, so I skip over those. The Queen of Black Magic. Let's see what else we got. I guess that's about it. There's a lot of kind of boutique stuff, really, seems like really kind of, what's that? I don't know, just a lot of these older films. Let's see, Island of the Doomed from 1967 is being put out by Mondo Macabro. I don't really go in for a lot of that stuff, but some folks, I'll just read off the titles real quick and maybe they're things that you like. Let's see here. Other releases this week are Bend of the River from 1952. It looks like a Western. George Stevens, A Filmmaker's Journey from 1984 on 4K. Rider on the Rain on 4K from 1970. The Angry River from 1971. The Himalayan from 76. The Invincible 8 from 1971. It looks like a Shogun kind of martial arts film. Yeah, just a lot of stuff I don't know. On May 15th, which I guess would be Friday, also have the Alan Parsons Project, Blu-ray, Eye in the Sky. Kraftwerk Radioactivity from 1975 is coming out on Blu-ray, and a Jethro Tull media book, 1983-84, called Under Wraps Walk Into the Light, the Unwrapped edition on Blu-ray. So those are the... I find Friday they put out music Blu-rays and stuff like that. So let's just looking forward to next week. There's a couple of cool things next week. If you ever wanted to look this stuff up on your own, guys, I go to blu-ray.com /movies/release dates, and you can go month by month and see what's coming out. I am waiting till next month when I will be getting my Day of the Dead 4K box set. I'm very excited for that. And I am expecting a few parcels from Amazon today, so those will probably be in next week's video. But let's just see, when is Day of the Dead? Oh, Scream 7's coming out next month. It's weird, I don't see the Day of the Dead one, but must be on here somewhere. Oh, Wicker Man's getting a 4K in, Children of the Wicker Man. I've actually never seen that. That's coming out next month. So, yeah, I don't know. But I am expecting a few movies from Amazon today to arrive, so those will be in my next week's video. And it's just a couple of like catalog things that I had been looking for but could not find in any shops. So that's that. Guys, this is the Hangout for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me for a little bit. Let me know in the comments below if any of the things I picked up are of interest to you, or if any of the upcoming releases for this coming week are of interest to you. I don't think I'll be getting any of those new releases this week. I don't know if I mentioned, but I did get Send Help on DVD. And I've watched it twice now, and I really like that movie. It's cool. But yeah, that's it for today. Let me know what's going on in your world in the comments below. If anything I talked about appeals to you. Give me ideas for videos. I know the Hangout is kind of, I think it's slowly killing my channel, but I can't keep up with the thrifting hauls, so I'm kind of struggling a bit with what to do with the channel, but I might revert back to like the movie reviews or things like that, or I may just revert to a system where I just do a video when I've built up some stuff from thrifting and just do kind of one of these videos like this. Or I could do like a separate video which is just like 10 minutes long talking about the upcoming new releases on physical media. Maybe I could go more in depth on those or something. Let me know. I know a lot of people liked my movie reviews that I did back in the day, so it's a bit more work for me, but they're shorter and maybe I can get more content out, but let me know. I hope everyone's doing well out there. Be sure to take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. Remember, being kind is the new punk rock. So hold a door open for somebody, or say thank you, or pay it forward, or whatever, but just try to be nice out there. The world's just a crap hole right now. But you try and you try and you try, right? That's all you can do. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you know the drill. Until next week, potentially see you at the video store, at the thrift store, or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Live long and prosper.